Hey, everybody! Coming at you on this delicious fall Thursday, 11:06 a.m. Coming from the Strength in Numbers Studios, downtown, sort of downtown Lansing, Michigan. Thought I'd start my stream having a delightful little, I don't know, Robin Williams-esque call sound thing. You know what I need to do? I need to do the daily test for audio. Hold on to your seats, everybody. It's time to do the audio test. It's going to give us a delightful echo. So let's see what we can see. It's going to be, we're going to do a techno kind of vibe to it. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, no, that's not it. Just kidding. Hold, please. I got to get Twitch to refresh. There it is. All right. Here it comes. Audio test in 3, 2, 1. There it is. All right. Here it comes. Audio test in 3, 2, 1. There it is. All right. Here it comes. Audio test in 3, 2, 1. There it is. All right. Here it comes. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down. Is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down. Is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down. Is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down. Is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down. Is down. The system is. And it does seem like the audio is working. I am watching. All right, thank you, Twitch. You are very helpful.
Merci mille fois.
Merci mille fois. Спасибо. Switch that. I'm going to change that to Russian just because I've got a good feeling we're going to get some friends from Russia coming in today to watch.
Большое спасибо.
Большое спасибо.
Большое спасибо. Большое спасибо.
Thank you very much. Большое спасибо. Alright. Checking out our tabs, making sure everything is tab-like. Of course, that always pops up on the wrong screen. We're going to disconnect and reconnect. Looks good. See if we can reconnect on Facebook. Somebody remind me in about 10 minutes to reconnect on Facebook. Authorized multi-platforming. So last night we got the production bake done, I believe, of Zone 2. Zone 2 is feeling really tight. I'm real happy with it. Real happy. Real happy. The one thing I do need to test out first is I need to make sure that the water sounds are in for walking through the water plane and then applying it onto the water plane in Zone 2. And if those are done, see how unido. I'm going to guess that that is something like hello. So we're going to go ahead and translate that. What country should it be? Spanish. Oh, just says has joined. Hey, Daniel Sabaja. How the hell are you today? Let's see how that translates, shall we?
¿Cómo demonios estás hoy?
I sound a lot sexier there. Oh, you speak English! Not just good, but super good. That is what I love to hear, Daniel. Where are you coming at? Where are you coming at us from there, Daniel? Are you in? I'm gonna guess since Periscope did that auto-joined thing in your language, you're gonna guess in some South American country? Or actually from Spain. I don't know if I ever talked to somebody from Spain. Costa Rica. Is it nice? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn a little bit of geography, because I'm not going to lie to you, Daniel. I have zero clues Costa Rica is. I'm going to guess it is south of the United States. Geography was never my strong suit. Show me Costa Rica. Hooray! I was right. For anybody else tuning in, our friend Daniel is coming at us from Costa Rica. Beautiful beaches and nature. Oh, bring me down there. Bring me down there. Over by Panama and the Panama Canal. So, here's a fun story before I get into game development. I'm here, Lansing, Michigan. And not at the Wild Goose Inn, but at Lansing, Michigan. And I have traveled on my motorcycle through almost all of the states on the east and midwest of the United States. And I know where everything is as long as I've been there. And it's a funny thing because, like with geography, I'm awful at it unless I've been there. So, Daniel, what I'm going to need you to do is email me over your home address and the best time to come for dinner. And I will come have dinner with you, Daniel. How does that sound? You're in the middle of the continent. You don't actually have to do that, Daniel. I wouldn't want to accidentally intrude upon your family dinner. Unless you have a very attractive a sister in her mid to late 20s. Oh, Scott, what are you doing? What are you doing, Scott? Coffee is good today. The light bake went extremely well on the level. The level is looking fantastic. I got the emissive on the clothing for the scum. It's looking good, glowing slightly. I did a bit of set decorating, adding a bit more bones, mushrooms, and rocks, which broke up a lot of the flat, empty spaces and created those delicious turns and corners that I was going after, so that way the people could be very scared of... Did I really not put a light there? Very scared of going around corners, because you'll never know what you're going to hit. Alright, tell me a little bit about yourself, Daniel, if I've still got you watching. What do you do? Are you a student? Are you an adult? Are you a gamer? What was that? Oh. Son of a biscuit, that mesh is not on the ground. That's fine. Thank you, Daniel. That is very kind of you. If I ever visit Costa Rica, yeah, tell me some nice places. You know, I need a vacation. Real bad. Like, real bad. It's been years since I didn't work a 12 to 14 hour day. Right, I need to see. I'm going to test out real quick over on the other web page I'm on to make sure that video is video chat's working on Facebook. But tell me, Daniel, about yourself. What do you do? Student? Are you a game developer, a game player, middle adult, somewhere there? Software developer. Oh, nice. Are you programmer, artist, engineering, audio, level design, lighting? What is it you do? Programming, nice. C++, C#, Java. sure Facebook chat is working. Do you have a link to anything that we can see? I'm multi-streaming this across Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and Mixer. So, and we get a decent crowd in towards the middle of the day, so I'd love to be able to post a link out there for you. Daniel, did you get a chance to hear the audio test early on in this stream? If you'd like, I could do it again for you. It's really quite delightful. Man, that looks so good after that light bake. Anthony Graves, you have crippling depression? That's not good. Have you sought any help? Have you talked to anybody? And this may help you. I'm gonna play for Daniel our audio test. Everybody get ready? Okay, I gotta watch a video to make sure I'm not saying anything beforehand. All right. The system is down. 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 So that's the audio test. Hey, Cedric Sumaya. What are you coming at me with? Oh, Twitch ads? I thought we had like a preferred account that didn't have ads on them. I'll have to look into that. I thought for certain we didn't. Or maybe that's just for ours watching other Twitch streams. But to answer your question there, Anthony, yep. Making a game. It is a jump scare horror game where you have to basically survive, solve some challenges, and get to the next level. This one is our second stage of it, which I was just doing polish on yesterday for lighting and whatnot. And for this one, you have to find, there are 5 dead bodies. And you have to find these little dudes here and drag them to a location which is here. Toss all 5 of the bodies into the bathtub, find the dagger, bring it back to that room, and sacrifices them. And then that takes you to the next zone. There are game mechanics such as sanity, and I'll show you using the developer's console. Everywhere you see a red circle is a sanity light, and the lights are all RNG, randomly programmed to turn off at some point between 2 minutes and 10 minutes. And if you're not in a sanity light, you start to lose sanity. And when that happens, you see this kind of ghost thing coming to kill you. There are other NPCs that try to kill you throughout the level. They hunt you down if they hear you or see you. And there are some zombies that are just sitting around that if you get too close to them, they jump up and kill you as well. Well, see, that's the problem, Cedric, is I don't always stream where I put them. Some days I don't stream, and I've stuck a lot of additional zombies in. A lot. Because the early test showed that it was a little too easy, and I wanted to make it punishingly difficult to actually beat, because there's only 3 levels, so there's about an hour or 2 worth of content. Some of them are easy enough to spot because they're just kind of hanging out. Some of them are more difficult to spot because they are... Where in the hell did I put him? Oh, this one you can't see in the development stream because in Engine, he's facing the wrong way. When the game is played, he's actually trying to crawl up on the wall there. So you wouldn't necessarily know where he is just by watching the stream. Some of them have nice little hiding spots. Yeah, and I was working on this last night, just making it look a little bit more beat up. Some of the hallways a little bit more interesting. But level 2, and I moved around a lot more dead bodies. And these guys have some really cool physics on them to where they just twitch while they're hanging there, but when you walk into them, they give a really cool squishy noise, and then they kind of swing around. But Anthony, I see you're still there, buddy. You know, I worry a little bit when I see people say that they have crippling depression. Are you doing all right, buddy? Oh, and somebody answered earlier, or asked earlier, I am the owner of the game company. I'm pitching a much bigger game that we made to publishers, and while we're waiting to hear back from publishers, we've been making this game, which is a much smaller game, but was easier to kind of knock out. So I'm level designer, lighting artist, and game design. I have an engineer, and then we had hired a bunch of artists to make a bunch of the art. So I don't do any of the art. I'm nicht sehr gut for art. And if you guys want to see, the first game we made was that one, and it's available on Steam. Right now we don't really have a community around it because we haven't successfully published it, but that is what I've been working on trying to get taken care of. Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Alright, so anyway. Cedric, my memory for names is awful. It is not intended as a slight against you. I mean, you're not remembered like you used to be before. Oh, Cedric, that was probably when Emily was streaming, right? She is awesome at remembering names. I am the worst. Now, I'm really good at remembering faces. So if you, like, sent me a link to a picture of your face, next time I saw your name, I would remember it. Or I'd remember if I saw the face. So don't think that it was meant as a slight. I am just freaking awful at remembering names. It is very expensive to hire good artists. Cedric, is it really just me? Am I just that freaking bad? God damn it. I mean, gosh dang it. I am sorry, buddy. Has it been a little while? I do not mean to be insulting. I really don't. Artists, for a good one, for a single high poly skeletal mesh, and I'll show you a good example. Oh yeah! Murder Forest, I remember. It's coming back to me. I am so sorry, Cedric. Do not hate me because I am forgetful. Skeletal mesh. So, like a single high poly skeletal mesh, such as, we'll open up Brillis here. So you just have to come by a little more often, so I remember. Gotta take them member berries. Why is the lighting so porked on this? Or it's probably just waiting to stream in the texture. Hold, please. Come on. Alright, this is way blurrier than it's supposed to be. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to cheat it. Where do I have a bright light? we go. So this dude whose materials just are refusing to pop in. Let's see if Kate's in here. And I could snap her hair on if I needed to. And I'm going to turn the lights up just for a moment. Just so you can see. So a single high poly model will set you back anywhere from a AAA artist, and with hair, just imagine there was hair. Because we modeled it separately. Oh, I didn't know you'd left, Daniel. So anyway, a single high poly skeletal mesh model from a AAA artist typically runs anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 from a really good artist. So the mistake I made when opening my studio, well, that's cool, was trying to make something too big. The one thing I would definitely recommend, and when I've been asked a few times, is what would you do differently? I would have started way, way, way smaller. I would have hired 2 artists, an engineer, an animator, and started building the foundation of the game, and then ramping up as we got a better feeling for it, because what we had originally planned, what I'd originally designed, ended up not being as much fun as what it is now. But the problem was I ended up hiring like 30 or 40 guys all at once, and the first few months were just chaos and nothing really got done, and everybody was trying to figure out what the hell they were supposed to be doing, and that's just salaries burning. We spent several $100,000 on salaries for stuff that didn't need to be spent. At the end of the day, we've ended up using it all, so it wasn't necessarily lost money, but it could have definitely been better accomplished. So I would have started way smaller. With this game that we're currently making, 90-95% of the meshes models we're using are from our first game, so that way we can build on the world. And then the rest are coming from the Unreal Engine. So if you go to the Unreal Marketplace, you can buy just tons of stuff. Tons of stuff. Meshes, animations, materials, audio, entire environment levels. Let's take a look at Daniel's team page. And so what I've been doing is every day, because I've ramped down to now there's only 2 of us on staff while I'm trying to get a publisher for the first game, is streaming just level and game design and stuff like that. Do C translation. Good day, dreamers. New enemy boss will not be in the demo. Wow, that is sexy looking. I don't know what that thing is. It's got the skull right on. Is it okay if I show this off, Daniel? So Daniel's team page. Look at that. That is sexy looking. I'd love to have that in this game. That'd be really cool. Imagine that walking down one of these really creepy hallways. Love it. Beautiful work. So you guys using Unity then, Daniel, since you're on C#? Alright. Now what I have to do, unfortunately, because this is going to be the least exciting thing you're going to see on stream all day. I have to open up and do a light bake on these two levels because I need to run a test on them to make sure. I don't know, how is this like super. Oof, yeah, that would be completely unplayable. Yeah, because it doesn't have any of the static lighting in. Alright, I've got to do a real quick light bake. On these levels so I can play test it to make sure that it is working as intended. So I do apologize to anybody that's going to sit through the bake. But I'm going to toss it up. It shouldn't be but a couple minutes. And it's a combo. This game is mainly blueprint system, but Paul does C++ on things that specifically require it, and the rest, he said like 90% of this game is blueprint system, but he is a C++ engineer. So whereas our first game, he did almost all, well, not almost all, but a giant chunk of it in C++ because of it was a fair bit more complicated. And he's going to be coming into the office today. He's been working from home. He's going to come into the office today, I would imagine around 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if there are more specific, like technical questions. Now what ends up happening is, during this swarm bake, it lags out my stream a little bit because it uses all the memories and the processors. So I'm going to toss that up just so you guys can see. Actually, I'm going to move this over a little bit. And this little guy can be shrunk. But these are all different boxes on the network. Yeah, we did a big like benefit analysis of engines, and just Unity didn't have the feature set that we needed, that we wanted for the first game. And I got very used to using it to make game 2. Alright, I'm going to go grab a coffee real quick. I will be right back. Caitlin, Zach. John is missing. Emily, Seth. Missing John and Joe. Alright. Now I noticed in my Swarm agent there. Now Swarm... Ooh, are you still there, Daniel? Because I do have a question about Unity. I see somebody from Mob Crush coming in with a new language, so let's see what they're saying. In Chinese, it says, how are you?
How are you?
Oh, wrong way.
你好吗?
Ni hao ma. Am fine. Thank you. How are you? I don't know if it's going to say wonk, right?
我很好，谢谢。你好吗?
All right, are you still with me, Daniel? I got a question for you about Unity. And Cedric, you'll be thrilled to know we are popping back into the murder forest, and the murder maze got a spider. Alright, how long was that bake there? 291 seconds. So 600 seconds is 10 minutes, that'd be 5 minutes. Plus an extra 2. So it's about 7 minutes for a preview bake. That's not bad. Now it's doing the texture encoding. And it looks like it's zipping through it pretty decently. This is going to lag a little. Alright, should be catching back up here in a hot second. buddy. Come on, buddy. It's me, Dan. Alright, I think... Oops. My restream chat, I think, just crept out. So we're going to launch restream chat again. What if it's going to catch up? Hey-o! All right. So when you see that processor, uh-oh, lost a camera. See if I can make all of them look like that. Hey, Kristen. When your slave bird was singing in the shower, you seemed incredibly depressed. My God, Kristen, I am not incredibly depressed. Alright, as soon as this message log pops up, the lighting build will be done. Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, that's the wrong one. Which camera is it that's borked? Nope, not that one. It's this dude. Alright, let's take a look. Yep, fine. For whatever reason, Unreal has been trying to bake the lights in hidden levels, sub-levels, and it shouldn't. But let's take a look. Much better. Much better. Well, that's a bit dark. I may need to pop that up with this guy a little. Point light. 2. Let's give him 1500. Yeah. Yeah. Point light. 2. We'll bake that in later. He's always happy when he's getting a bath. Rocking out the band this morning. Oh, that's cool. Oh, lost our second webcam. I think I can restart that one though. Here, I'm gonna... That one should be this one. Doop. There it is. We're back. So does that mean... screw it. We'll just do 2 today. All right, Daniel, please tell me you're still there, buddy. Daniel. don't know, I might need to restart Periscope. I'm going to restart Periscope. All right. I'm going to tweet that out. All right. No, Daniel, what I ended up doing was I had spent several years putting a game plan, product plan, marketing plan, business plan, financial plan together. I shopped it around for 3 or 4 years. Finally got an investor on board. He fronted the cash for the first game. Things haven't gone quite as planned, but while I'm burning through the remaining cash trying to get a publisher for our first game, we're making the second one. It has been nightmarishly brutal. Honestly, it has just been a nightmare. We're gonna sneak this sexy devil over to this side for right this moment. Boop. But I do want to ask you, Daniel, were you watching the light bake there, the swarm agent? Does Unity have a networked distributed light bake utility like Unreal does? Because all of these are 8 and 16 core computers on my network that we've set up so that way when it has to process the light maps and all of the light build, I send it out to the network, and the difference being hours versus minutes to get a light bake done. I was always curious as to if Unity had that. Alright. We are going to play actually, you know what? I can just do it right here. Come on, Unreal. Oh, for crap's sake. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because if you try to do a light build, even a preview on a decently large level, it can take hours. I put him there. function's stuck. And that's my fault. But that's good to find out. Are you guys hiring, Daniel? I'm taking on part-time work while I'm trying to get the publisher. Need another level designer? And you want to switch to Unreal? Oh.
Prepare to die.
Okay, I'm gonna go the other way around. Alright, it doesn't sound like the water plane has its... That's weird. I hear one of those little shits running around here. Alright, it did answer the question. It does not have the water sounds in. And that's fine. Paul's coming in this afternoon, so I'm just gonna throw another ticket out. Where'd you go, Pen? Oh, I found you. Alright, so what I'm going to do real quick is check to make sure that I have the collision on. I do. Just curiosity, I want to see what it would do if I do that. So I'll need Paul for that one. Paul? But, yep. Yeah, I'll show you. So on the network, I've got, it's called Swarm. I don't remember what it stands for, but something about, I don't know, lighting or something. Did my damn bottom camera crap out again? Man, that is just frustrating. USB has not been my friend today. So on the network, I have all of these computers set up. Yep, basically just like a render farm. And you can see if it's executing on its own, how many cores it's going to use, if it's going to execute from a remote, how many cores, and then all these dudes. Who's dead? Oh, Paul's and John's. Those just, I think Windows updated and restarted them. And then it just distributes it across to all of them. And it'll show you the progress of where each computer is. Which has made a huge difference in doing light bakes. Oh my gosh. Like I said, hours reduced down to minutes. Plus, at the end, it gives you a log of any UV overlaps or lighting errors or stationary light overlaps. Alright, so level 1 is done. Level 2 is done. We're going to hide those little bastards. Save them out just to be on the safe side. Goodbye, level 1 and 2. I'll miss you. Let me change that to both of these. I set them up to be always loaded when I'm working on them. That way I don't have to worry about the streaming volume. But when I am done working on them, I move them to blueprint only. That way it optimizes frame rate. For the player. Alright, so we're going to stick you up here next to your buddy. And you. So I've got my zone 1 done. Zone 2 done. We are headed back to the murder forest. It should be right over there. Actually, we're going to murder Maze. I'm gonna guess having this many webcams on the USB bus is what's causing some troubles. Hooray! And we're back. The Scott came back the very next day. We thought he was a goner, but he wouldn't stay away. Yep. I've got all of stages 1 and 2 done. There's nothing left for me in them. So, Murder Maze, Murder Town. I need to finish up a little bit. And then... Did I not open it? Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, fucking fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, I want to guess. I want to play Who Forgot to Commit All of His Shit before he did a clean build. I just lost at least a day's worth of work. Man, look at that. That's kind of funny. Webcam always catches me at the best time. That's how I feel right now. Right there. I lost everything that I did in here because I did not save and commit. Holy balls, and I didn't save any of these as static meshes either yet. Oh my god, I'm so mad at myself right now. I'm ridiculously mad at myself. That was last week when we couldn't get the game to build. And so I thought I should try rebuilding from our repo. And I never committed my goddamn changes. That is a rookie mistake. All right, well, let's get to it. This is going to be the least interesting thing you're going to see for 20 minutes. You know what I'm going to do? You know what? A friend of mine who messaged me last night, Kristen, and you were astute enough to observe the effect it had, let me know that my favorite kind of Oreos are back on sale at Walmart. They are a seasonal only Oreo. They are white fudge dipped Oreo cookies. I don't even know how far back in lighting I am on this zone. I used to commit every single day, but since I've been making so many fast iterations, I didn't commit. So, fuck. I think what I'm going to do to boost my Thursday a little bit is go over to Walmart, because there's one. No, they don't. This person I heard from, you've heard me reference before, was a young lady that I had deeply fallen for. At the beginning of the year. We were together for a couple of months. And I had made some mistakes. Didn't cheat on her or anything like that, but there are things I would do differently now, you know. And I haven't heard from her in months and months. And she messaged me last night to tell me that my favorite Oreos are available at Walmart. So, the Oreos themselves are not bad news. In case, Daniel, you're still watching at this time, what I'm doing here is there's a blueprint that we got off the marketplace that allows for procedural spider web generation that is really cool because it sends the texture and the materials out through the blueprint depending on the angle and the distance that you have, and so it just connects webs to everywhere depending on where you've got it. Well, the thing is when you do that, you want to then convert it to a static mesh. And I did all this last week, maybe even 2 weeks ago, but I completely forgot to commit my changes to the repository. And so now I'm doing it again. And the engine allows me to hide the static meshes. So this I can see, the ones that you can see are the ones that are still blueprints. Cedric is still camping out in our Twitch. I appreciate you, Cedric. I won't forget you again. I may write your name on a sticky note and put it somewhere that I always see it. It's kind of like the movie Memento. Have you seen that? I was a little tempted to try to do another Kickstarter for Kaet Must Die so I can buy a little bit more time, because there's some really cool stuff Paul and I were talking about, but I just don't have the money to implement it. The cat came back. The very next day. We thought he was gone, but he wouldn't stay away. Okay. Ah! My earbud! Games are super costly, And I'm running out of options. Oh. Hooray! Yeah, unfortunately, this studio has cost me more than just money. Yeah, I work on this all of the time. Unless we get picked up by a publisher in the next 2 weeks, I'm probably going to have to pick up a day job, which is going to be very humbling. Going from running a $2 million company to working for somebody else. Hooray! Life goals. Wah wah. Yeah, I love the blueprint system. Yep, I raised $2 million. Well, 1.5, but then I got the state to kick in 200,000, and then I got the city to kick in 20,000. So it was like 1.75. I was just rounding. And our primary game, Twaybor, is fantastic. Yeah, like I said, I do a bunch of things differently. I really, really would. I made rookie mistakes because I thought, and this is a big one. Being an entrepreneur, you kind of get caught up in your own vision, and you forget that your employees aren't necessarily going to share that vision. Whereas a lot of them, although good people and talented artists and developers, aren't looking to do something big and grand like start the game industry in a city and a state that really has none. And I was pushing that hard, and I thought everybody shared my vision. At the end of the day, most of them were just looking for a paycheck. And so, since it was comfortable salary and health insurance and all of that, they kind of just all, not all of them, but a number of them took their time. Whereas if we had a little bit more of an agile development structure of, where I made it too comfortable for them, and I hate to say that, but there was no fear of losing their jobs. And so they, there was a lot of, oh, I'm going to try this out, or I'm going to try that out, or I'm going to push a little bit more. And it is my fault as the manager and the owner of the company of not pushing them more. Team of 5, 2 years, 250,000. So that means 125,000 a year divided by 5. So you're talking $25,000 a year per developer, which is roughly $12.50 an hour. I don't know if the exchange rate is different, but that is what you kind of get paid at working at a McDonald's. And I know it's lean, and if that's, if you're doing it as a part-time after your day job, then that's great. That means you can tack that on, But if you're trying to do it 40, 60 hours a week and you don't have any other source of income, then that's going to be tight. No, I was paying, the starting salary for my staff was $38,000 a year for each member, and some of them, depending on experience, got higher than that, significantly higher. Shit, I should have outsourced everything down to Costa Rica. Yeah, some of my AAA developers we're clocking in around $75,000 to $80,000. Like the art team leads who'd worked at Bethesda and Activision and Blizzard and all that kind of stuff. Yesterday we had pop into our stream. Oh, and Daniel, just in case, Periscope is sometimes a little wonky. So just in case, maybe I need to come down there. Just run away to someplace warm. You know, follow us on Twitch and Facebook. I don't know how stable the Periscope platform is because it does not allow for the streaming of Periscope is completely different than it is for the others. And then our Facebook. What is our new Facebook? I think I changed it. No, it's the same. Is there a really bad crime and corruption down there? Government corruption's pretty bad. Yeah. We're facing a little bit of that ourselves right now. America. Fuck yeah. So what? Oh, I gotcha. What I'm going to do is this is taking a hot minute, and there's easily another half an hour's worth of clicking and waiting. Although, I don't know. Some of those smaller meshes might not be so bad. I think I'm going to go run and grab lunch, as it is now almost 12:30, noon 30. And
Hora de comer.
we're going to throw out one of those. Bring sriracha chicken. Oh. Tell you what, Kristen, I was actually thinking about this quite a bit last night. Well, look at this. Look what the mother-loving Kaet dragged in. You wouldn't necessarily know it from the name, because I don't spell my Facebook account the same as I do my real name because I was spammed with a whole bunch of people seeking jobs when I opened this company. We have a mother-loving celebrity in the audience today. It is my good brother, Eric, the Golden Child Reschke, checking us out from Facebook. Well, hello there, Eric. How are you doing today? That one get done already? Actually, these last few webs are going a little bit faster. And I'm pretty sure I know why. It's because I didn't put as many sheets in the blueprints on it. And so the more sheets it has, the longer it takes to convert it into a static mesh from a blueprint. As good as can be expected. Eric, unfortunately, has developed a number of really painful ailments in the last year. Has it even been that long? I don't recall you complaining. No, Kristen, I was going to say if you have a link to that PM job, I think I need to be a responsible adult and look at picking up some work and then converting the studio to be a part-time thing for myself until I can actually get something going. Because I can't risk not being able to pay rent or food for my daughter, or for me for that matter. Apparently I have value too. So if you have any, like a link to that or anything you could send, I'm gonna this is the email address I always use. I'm gonna hold off on applying until the end of the month. I don't know if it'll still be filled, but I've got to give these publishers the last couple of weeks to get back to me because they have promised me they would. And I don't have to give up game development. I just have to pick up something that pays the bills. But Eric has had 11 months. His shoulders have gone out, both of them, I believe. A spine breakage, leakage, crackage problem, and then like an Achilles tendon problem, possibly on both. He is Army man, and was a paratrooper, and he, what was it, too many jumps, do you think? Or do you think it was something else? Just lots of, I mean, it's a hard life. That's for damn sure. I always used to like to think that I could have been in the military too. But the problem I have is I hate listening to people. I'm really, really bad at... No, not, you know what, that's not true. I am very respectful of authority if it is obvious. Oh, just old and in the Army? If it is blatantly and apparently obvious that the person in authority deserves to be, belongs to be. I am awful at listening to idiots above me if they're idiots. Case in point, I worked at a company where my direct supervisor was a spiteful, petty, vindictive woman who literally would do things just to upset people. And I could not work for her at all. She would constantly pick fights with people. She would constantly argue with people over stuff she had zero knowledge over. And that's the kind of person I cannot work for. So I need to be able to respect my boss. As silly as that sounds. Although I guess at the end of the day, if you have to get paid, you have to get paid. Go, statics, go. Ba-doop-ba-doop-boo-da-doop-ba-doop-ba-doop-da-da-da-da. Convert static meshes. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And Eric, I realized your greeting was the word slacker. Holy balls, why does this say I have 17 people viewing? Who's watching? Oh, there's 11 people on Facebook watching. Hey, Facebook. I'm already known to the company? I applied like 5 years ago for like an executive manager position. That's too bad. I'm sorry, Kristen. I didn't even get an interview or a reply or anything. Now that was before I had a degree. I had run a number of businesses before, as well as being the owner of a business for almost a decade. And so I presumed my qualifications were a bit higher than what they apparently wanted. And so now that I've got a bachelor's degree plus just a crap ton more project management experience, and product ownership and product manager, or product owner, I believe it's called, I should be able to coast in a little bit better. I did graduate magna cum laude from Ferris State University in business administration. Hopefully that has some pull. Plus I've got some stellar referrals from some... Damn it, I'm sorry, Kristen. My name, Daniel. My name is Scott. My slogan can be respect my authority. No, I don't eat enough cheesy poofs for that. I am known to the company. The way you said that, Kristen, makes me sound like I'm in the Great Book of Grudges. I would be impressed if any of you actually knew what that was a reference to. The Great Book of Grudges. Who wants to win a digital cookie? I think the big problem, Kristen, was the position that I applied for. Although I was qualified for, it didn't look like it on paper. And it did specifically say you needed a bachelor's for, and I did not have one at the time. When I was a younger man, my ego would sometimes get the better of me. I'm sure that's a shock to everyone listening. Man, we got a bunch of people on Facebook. That's kind of surprising. Oh, it dropped off. Somebody's watching on Mob Crush right now. A little bit at Twitch. And that's, I think I'd mentioned before, one of the things I like about the engine, and not knowing anything about Unity. How did I get my investor? 3.5 years of networking and pitching at investment conferences, investment organizations. They're called angel investors. They're called venture capital investors. It was a very long, very difficult process where it only ended up coming through at the very last minute. If you check out our Facebook or YouTube, there's a video in there where I give a lecture for, I think, either University of Michigan or Western Michigan University. At one of the, I've lectured at a few universities on game development and game startup from an entrepreneurial aspect. And so that goes over how the whole sort of process. Oh, that's too funny, Eric. Yeah, the Facebook streaming is not ideal either. And probably what's happening is, if you take a look, I'll pop open the task manager. Every time I'm converting one of these blueprints into a static mesh, it uses all of my processor. So more than likely the Facebook streaming does not like that. Did you watch that whole thing, Eric? And I've given that same lecture with varieties on it. Kristen, I didn't see it pop the text in there. You do know it was Warhammer. The Great Book of Grudges. Are you a tabletop gamer, Kristen? And I knew Eric knew it. Yeah, it gives you a bit of insight into the development, how to start, you know, a lot of challenges that indie studios face. We've faced them all. And right now I'm facing the final challenge, which is trying to get a publisher before we completely run out of money. Now, it doesn't mean the end of the company, it just means the end of salaries, to where I have to then hustle in a different fashion. Do 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 do. Inspector static mesh. Do 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 do. Yeah, my brother and I used to play Warhammer Fantasy, and then we also played. He did a ton more of Warhammer 40K than I ever did. I think I only ever played that like 2 or 3 times. We are in Discord. Unfortunately, after I had to lay off my community manager, I almost never use it anymore, just because I'm scrambling to get this level development done, so game 2 can actually get on the market. So our Discord, unfortunately, is rather quiet, and we never had a huge following in there, but a number of them were very young, like we're talking 13, 14-year-olds, and actually, I'm on Steam already, Andrew. That has been a problem. What a lot of indies don't realize is that Steam does not promote you unless you already have sales going. And since I was expecting that being on Steam would open up the market for us, the things you see on the Steam front page are things that Steam already has sales for. So, and I got to dance around this a little lightly because I don't want to burn any bridge. Steam is a wonderful platform for distribution. They are not a publisher for you. So the indie has to still hustle to publish and market the game. And the problem that we have with our main game, Twaybor, is that nobody knows about it. And since it's a multiplayer game, having no community around it at launch is a problem. So what I'm trying to do is get a publisher to pick us up before we launch it as gold, so that way we can get marketing around it, because it is a very good, very fun game. It's just, I don't have any marketing connections. We have tried for 2.5 years to build our own community, and the apathy from gamers is overwhelming. And unfortunately, social media at large has become such a toxic environment that when we reach out to groups, we get either no response or no traction with them, to where, like, we'll hear, oh yeah, you know, this is great, we'd love to help you out. And so we'd say, okay, this is our game day, here's a bunch of free keys, we want you guys just to play, tell us what you think, blah blah blah. And they just never show up. They don't even try logging in once. So it is a very, publishing and marketing a game is great, because I honestly thought, and that was a big strategic mistake I made, was, you know, Steam's got 160 million users. I assumed that being on Steam, we'd get that exposure that we want, because we only need a few hundred playing at a time in order to build that traction, build that community. And thinking, you know, globally there's several 100 million gamers, I really thought it was going to, you know, build more steadily. And at the end of the day, you know, Steam has done nothing to promote us. So I've got to try and find a company that will promote us, that has connections to YouTubers, Twitch people, game streamers, you know, these social media darlings that everybody now, because gamers, for the most part, they ignore banner ads. That's not where you pick up. So seeing like website ads for games is pointless. Game review sites have such a high churn that I've been told by a number of marketing professionals that have worked on very large titles that it is nearly pointless to even get on the game review sites, because they'll review 3 or 4 games a day. And so, you know, after day 1, or there is no day 2 for you. Yeah, free weekends, all that kind of stuff we've done. We haven't done a free weekend on Steam. Originally, the game was free on Steam to begin with, and we were going to do free-to-play with microtransactions, and it was a shitstorm of toxicity from gamers, and they didn't want microtransactions at all. And so I thought, all right, did a digging, took a look at the value proposition of the game to see where it sits, how much we need to charge in order to recoup the investment money versus the, you know, the features of the game and the aesthetic appeal and the quality of the game. And so we popped it in at $24, knowing that it would be on sale for like $19. Hey, Noel. And then we got a bunch of, you know, and people are like, oh, that's cool, but now give it to me for free. So they want the game for free with no microtransactions. What do you do with that? So we converted it over to a, you know, just a single you know purchase thing. Yeah, free and no microtransactions. And it's just it's the toxicity is so overwhelming to me. I love what we have built. It is a beautiful game. It is a fun game. But the toxicity... What the fuck? Oh. I thought I lost all of my static meshes. I was like, all of the work I did! Alright. That's still good. Good, 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 good. Oof. I'm not going to believe that that's actually overlapping until I do a bake on it. Yeah, we had 54 total people working, not including the years I spent putting all this together. We had 54 people working with part-time to full-time salaries. Oh yeah, Andrew, we did Steam Greenlight last August. That's how we got on Steam originally. So believe me, I am fully aware of the horrid mess that is indie game development. And I had reached out to publishers back when we first started, and they said, oh, it's a great idea, get back to us when you've got a game to show. And so then when I came back to them with the game, they're like, oh, this is beautiful, this is awesome, we totally would have if you'd come to us earlier. So you see where a lot of my frustration is right now. Great game. I've been told we should be so proud of ourselves, we've done such a great thing, it's impossible in indie development, blah, blah, blah. But you should have come to us sooner. I did go to you sooner. I was told to get back to you when there was a program. So right now I'm hustling to try and make some magic happen. And I don't get discouraged. I find a way to keep moving forward. That's what I do. There's always a way. You just gotta find it. Oh, that stupid effing rock. Alright. So, I'm very upset with myself. I had this whole section set up so that way I could hang bodies into it as the final kind of murder town before the murder maze. And I lost it. So I'm going to have to rebuild that after I get back with Oreos. I have not eaten yet today at all. Did not have breakfast. I just had 2 cups of coffee. So I hate to have to do this because I see we actually have quite a few people watching again on Facebook right now. Looks like that keeps popping up and down. Always got to keep going. Always forward. Always forward. I know Kristen accuses me of being a Debbie Downer all of the time. And I know some of it's just teasing. It has been very difficult to fight off, I don't want to say depression, but, you know, to keep fighting when so much has been done. And it's hard to see a way forward. But it's just pivoting and figuring it out. So that's kind of, yeah, I think there's a general misunderstanding of how expensive it is to make video games. And how much skill you actually have to make it. So, it is not a... You do get a hobbyist game every now and then that comes out that's really good. But even then, those hobbyists put years of their life into it. So, I'm just hoping that the good vibes I'm putting out there, I never shit on anyone in the development. There are former employees that do not care for me because I had to fire them for not doing their job. But, you know, that's any industry. Yeah. And I've learned a lot. In the last just 2.5 years alone, I don't think I've clocked in at under probably 60 hours minimum a week for, we'll just conservatively say, we'll say 3 years minimum, not counting the 3 years prior to that of trying to design, develop, and raise the money. So 52 weeks a year times minimum of 60 hours a week times 3 years. So I've got at least 9,000, minimum 9,000 hours in on this. And so in theory, actually, I'm going to put that calculator back up. And we'll round it up to 10,000 just to count the other years. And we'll say at a minimum, you know, a $40,000 a year salary, we'll say $18 an hour. In theory, I should have gotten about a quarter, you know, $180,000 just in salary, which I have not gotten. Oh yeah, Daniel, like, case in point, Paragon, Battleborn, and Overwatch. So, you know, woe be it to any third-person game that came out around the time of Overwatch. All right, I am going to take my leave of you guys for lunch, but I will be back in about an hour. I'm going to zip over. I've got a coupon that expires today for McDonald's. I'm going to splurge a little bit, comfort food because it's cold out. And I'm going to get like a Big Mac or something awful to eat. And then I'm going to swing over to Walmart and pick up some white fudge covered Oreos and a gallon of milk. And I will be back in an hour. I hope to see most of you back. If you have not yet, please go to our Twitch and our Facebook and our YouTube and our Twitter. Follow so that way you can see and come back. I will be back. Anybody, I see there's a bunch of people lurking on Facebook that have not chimed in. I will be back. I'm going to do a light bake now so that way it does not lag out the engine when I get back. And then we're going to do a quick fly through of all of stage 3, which is all these checkpoints here. So you can see how cool it is and the different things that we've done in before I put my murder town back in. So, yeah. I've got all the assets saved out in case the engine crashes. Gonna do... I can't imagine anybody's going to want chicken on a raft for an hour, Kristen. I think we lost a bunch of viewers last time I did that. So, although, you know what? What would it hurt? Do you think? Let's get honest opinion. If I put chicken on a raft up, would you guys just mute it and then come back in an hour and see if I was there? Or do you prefer I just end the stream and come back to it? No, you know what? It'll lag the stream out too badly. I don't want to do that because people might not come back after that. So I am going to kill the stream now. I'll be back in an hour. And to anybody that wants to, chickenonaraft.com, go there.
Skippers in the wardroom drinking gin. Hey-oh, chicken on a raft. I don't mind knocking, but I ain't a-going in. Hey-oh, chicken on a raft. Jimmy's laughing like a drain. Hey-oh, chicken on a raft. Been looking at the comic cups again. Hey-oh, chicken on a raft. Hey, chicken on a raft on a Monday morning. Oh, what a terrible sight to see. Left toast forward in the dustbin now. Sitting there picking at a chicken on a raft. Hey-oh, chicken on a raft. Chicken on a raft. Chicken on a raft.
All right, so I'll be back in an hour. I'm going to start up the light bake. That way it doesn't lag you guys out. I hope I'll get to see some of you guys again, or all of you. I hope I get to see all you later. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.